Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners. Goldylocks Productions presents Enlightening Conversations with Pam Silver Eagle.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the perch. Here it is, Tuesday again, and it's time to gather. So I've already had some comments. Some of you are seeing the videos I posted. I just spent the last hour and a half out in the woodlands. Beautiful, beautiful, purifying rain. And I was just so joyful to be able to turn on the video cam and share a little bit of that with those of you who are guided to tune in. And of course, you can view that at any time. So the forest is so lush and so green. And I really spent, like I said, a lot of time journeying, just getting centered for myself, as we had such a powerful, powerful weekend with the summer solstice on Saturday, and also backed by the solar eclipse, as well as major retrograde energy coming in now. And, you know, it just keeps, we just keep getting more opportunities to get clear on who we are, the healing process, and the ascension process that we are all on. In the midst of our own work, of course, all in the oneness, we must look at how can we co-create better at this new time and this new earth. I am, here again, for those of you who don't know me, Pam Silver Eagle. My soul mission is as a teacher, a wayshower. I am also an anchor for the new earth energies that are coming in to Earth Mother. So, to my ancient healing medicine that keeps expanding and expanding as I remember so many, many, many lifetimes of being in service in these same ways. And so today, for those of you, I would like to give a little bit of a perk to looking into what my services are and perhaps saying yes. If you go to my Pam Silver Eagle LLC Facebook page, I do not have a website. So on the Facebook page, there are some buttons that you can select my different services and see what I'm offering. There's short description, and I will talk a little bit more at the end, but I know that I've got a lot of new people tuning in, and I want to say thank you for joining and remind all of you new viewers, I cannot see you I'm using my mobile phone. So yeah, my hope is to soon have a little bit different setup so that I can interact with my brothers and sisters who are perching with me, because as I always speak, we truly are each other's teachers as we seek, and we are also teachers, and we all have different experiences, certainly different knowledge, different sacred gifts. And when again we come together in this oneness and recognize that we're all here just helping each other on our evolutionary soul journey, that it's an important time to gather. So again, I invite you to check out my services on my Pam Silver Eagle Facebook page, LLC's Facebook page. And one of the reasons I was called out to the forest today is those of you who've been tuning in week by week know that I've, just like everyone in our human suits, we are all experiencing so many different opportunities to heal, clear past karma, and to really step into our truth of our divinity. And with all the tools that we have, we can recenter and really claim that I am presence to co-create the world in which we want to live. It's important to recognize that all souls are in different places along the journey. And, I was thinking back the last couple of days to when I started to have, my true biggest spurts of awakening. And I can remember how confusing some things were and certainly how challenging. And sometimes we find uh, communities or other teachers, wayshowers, and there are more lessons to be had. So it's so important to be in alignment from your inner space, your I am presence, and trust that foremost. It will not steer you wrong when you go deep into that I am presence, that unified self. While you're on the journey of discovering all that is, and we all continue to down that road of discovery, it's important to surround yourself with people and in places that resonate. And so important at this time to position yourself in places of love. And of course, it has to start here. And so as I've talked other weeks about this ongoing, how abrasive, how fear-based our society can be at this time. And we all know that we have social media to connect back in with those who are of like mind and like heart, and recognizing, remembering their heart space, a sacred heart, and working on the balance of the divine masculine and feminine energies within each of us. We become responsible. We must take care of, do our own work, our inner work, so that we can also, be part of the bigger picture, the global picture, all brothers, all sisters, all nations. And, again, it's important to trust your own intuition. And we have so much support from all of our divine helpers. And each of us resonate or, feel close to the different, whether it be the ascended masters, the angels, the archangels, our ancestors from many, many lifetimes. For me, it's some of the indigenous leaders who I know that other lifetimes I was counseling with, and sitting in sacred council as a leader in those communities, as well as a medicine woman, medicine man. So they're with us, supporting us, and our ancestors from this lifetime who are holding us in such a sacred way as well. Earth Mother, such a divine, beautiful, beloved mother for all of us. She's hosting us. This is our place we're calling home right now. And what a compassionate mom she is. And when I was out there with her today and all of her kingdoms, it's just, we become so tuned in to the senses of, as it was raining. And if you haven't had a chance to see the video I posted a short time ago, I invite you to go back and take a look at some of the other pictures. I've been posting a lot of great photography, and that I am so honored to be the one to be able to bring into form and share with others in the way that I do. But Earth Mother just holds us even after we have treated her so badly. And when I see the Weather Channel and I see the news headlines of all these storms, well, I say again that, Earth Mother is making her ascension as well. And she's a powerful, powerful being who is so admired all across the galaxy. I see a lot of environmentalists who, are crying out, we must save the earth. I co-created an Earth Care Ministry down at First Unity of St. Petersburg with 3 other amazing souls. And we have done a lot of amazing work there to bring awareness to not only our community, but into the St. Pete area and beyond, even globally, as we have won some amazing awards for our contributions as wayshowers, as leaders in a spiritual community that also recognizes the great web of life. So what I want to say, though, about Earth Mother is it's an important time. There's the science of it all, And those that are tuned in spiritually, we are coming together. And the way I see it, it's time for us to recognize that we ought not to go back and repeat the devastating, depleting practices in which we've been living for so very long. The Native Americans and so many of the indigenous people all around Earth Mother have taught always the teachings of the respect that we must have for Earth Mother and how we are to be, how we are to walk softly and in peace amongst our brothers and sisters, amongst all the kingdoms on Earth Mother. And we are at a time when we have so much knowledge. And then the young, short two-leggeds coming in, they are so tuned in, tapped in, that most of them, many of them are clear on what their missions are, their soul missions. And as they come up, as they rise up and they stay tuned in and not disconnect, and it's our job to hold them in that way, to help them remember so that they don't have to uncover all the layers, the forgetfulness that so many of us, the generations ahead, have had to go through to remember, to heal and remember. And so the inventions and the new ways of being, it's time to bridge those generations. So the elders, of course, the wisdom and the knowledge that we as the elders hold, and those who came before us, as well as those in the middle ground, right? And the new ones coming in. This is a going back to, this is the oneness that when we bring together our gifts and our skills, our knowledge, our wisdom, centered here in our heart space, that is where we shift. That's where we shift how we do life. And it's really important to come together. No more duality, no more separation. And as government, may continue to put restrictions, we are very creative, we are wise, and we are so supported. So we have ways to come together, just like we are doing now. But as we discern in healthy ways and respect that not everybody has the same boundaries or a safety net for everything that we're moving through as a society, it's important to meet each other and respect each other's feelings, or even to recognize their fears. As I was started to speak earlier about, as I was starting to awaken and just wondering, what is this all about? And what's happening to me emotionally, physically, at the soul level, spiritually, everything shifted. And the more we open up and the more we, like a sponge, right? And we bring in and we do a little sampling of some things. It might be different, spiritual practices, or different teachers, or different ways of praying, or communities that we're in, whatever it is, we sample for a while. And then, careers is another one, relationships for sure. What is resonating? And then we do this dance, and it's kind of like a vision of a line dance. And then you kind of go, oh, this partner, I'm complete. And then you move on. Or we go, oh, back around and do-si-do. So elementary school music class, right? We do this dance sometimes, whatever's resonating. And then sometimes it's time to expand as we go up the ladder to higher consciousness. And to assist others along. That's the key. So important to recognize that there's so many people waking up now, this great awakening time, that are scared. And their beliefs and the cultures, religions are really a pivotal part of the structure of systems that hold people back from expanding. And that has been intentionally created for eons of time. And certainly, the fears you bring in, there's so much confusion over what the medical world is saying, because we have some of the medical world saying one thing about even this pandemic, as we've labeled it, and some of the medical personnel saying another thing, and lots of discussions and even then arguments about what is safe, what is not safe. Is there really this many deaths from a virus, or have the numbers been tweaked? And is it safe to go here without a mask or not without a mask? And the governments have been given the power to the authorities to say, oh, if you're in this state or in this town, you can do this, this, or that. It's where we have to really, again, I'll get a little pause. I'm going to tap my screen so I can see. Hello, I'm frozen. It's where we have to go in and discern for ourselves. We have that wisdom running through us. And when we, are on social media or we're having these discussions with people that we know we're not quite in alignment with, things can get really foggy. So it's important to stay grounded and stay tuned in. I'm going to tap this.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by as we resolve this issue.
Hey, where'd you all go? I was right here with you as a commercial break. So what I was saying is that we have to discern for ourselves, what is our truth? What is our truth? And in order to do that, we have to stay centered and nurture ourselves. We have to be able to step away from what is not our truth and stand in that power, and not in an argumentative way. I think, there's so much arguing over right and wrong. When you trust this inner compass, it will guide you, and you can't go wrong. You will find the law of attraction, that you are amongst the people in your small sacred circles that you rely on for support. You support one another and you assist one another, the good times and the times that don't feel so good. And then those of us that are wayshowers, the light workers, we can go out into the trenches again and do our work from a really heart-centered space with a clear mind and clear intentions. And we're at a time when it really takes, again, all of our tools to stay centered in our truth. It can be a little dicey even amongst family members, partnerships, communities, neighborhoods, and then you scope it out to the bigger picture of towns and states and globally, of course. Again, it's always easier at least to be amongst those that we resonate with, but we're really being called to be able to coexist, and amongst those differences, be able to hold the light and hold the love, that of which we are. So important. I have been sharing a lot of the teachings from the Ascended Master teachings, the 7 Sacred Flames. And I have the book here with me because I am guided to share a little something with you today from the sacred text. Of the rays, there is the resurrection flame. And I was sharing a lot about the resurrection flame back around what we celebrate as Easter season, the whole leading up to the Easter season. And I was born and raised Catholic, and so I was very familiar with the Lent season and Easter. And of course, as I expanded, that walk took on every year a whole new, not just meaning, but way of being. And the resurrection flame is like the violet flame, the healing flame, it's one of the sacred tools from God, a sacred frequency that we can call in. And those of you that have been seeing my pictures that I've been posting with the different frequencies, I set these intentions in my beingness. I am on call, and always on call. And so in the sacred space of holding prayer, and again, I mentioned earlier in the show that to bring in the sacred frequencies to ground into Earth Mother and to share with all of humanity. Many others of you have similar roles, similar sacred roles. But these tools, just like the meditations or different prayers that seem to resonate with you, so too, these beautiful teachings of the Ascended Masters were channeled through by Aurelia Louise Jones years and years ago. And I have attributed these teachings after my sacred journey to Mount Shasta, as I was called to attend and had a huge activation. And it was where these works came to me. It was time, you see, time for me. And as I have already mentioned here in this time, that the different texts or teachings may or may not resonate. The beauty of it is we all have so many different ways to learn, and so you draw to you those teachings and those shares when you're ready along your journey, and you trust and you dabble in it, and you see, you feel, you experience what's changing. And if it's good, then you stay with it until something shifts. If it's uncomfortable or doesn't feel good, then it's time to take a new path, and that maybe that teaching or that book or that teacher that you've been following is not in alignment with you. And it's perfect to acknowledge that there are sometimes it's time for a shift. Sometimes we see it coming and we know it's coming. We just don't know when, maybe. And sometimes we're like, whoa, hey, it's time for something new, because look at me go. So back to these teachings. Today, I wanted to share the ray of it's the golden ray of resurrection. And on Thursdays, again, you call these, if you're using these flames and these sacred works, you call these in at any time, every day, all night, or whenever you feel guided, once you get familiar with them. But the Thursday, this ray is amplified specifically on Thursday. So again, you can call these in daily if that's feels right to you. I want to read a little bit about the resurrection flame. The directive from the Ascended Masters is this. And by the way, the resurrection flame is overseen by Lady Nada and Lord Sanada, also twin flames, also known in their previous life as, of course, Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ. So they are the ones that lead us and oversee the resurrection flame. We are guided to focus on the energies of this flame for the resurrection and restoration of your inherited divinity. You are a divine being experiencing human life and learning from it. Because you have strayed in consciousness, your divinity has been veiled. As you invoke and merge with the purple and gold energies of the resurrection flame, you will start resurrecting all the gifts and attributes of your divinity. Along with the violet flame, this wondrous flame prepares you for your final ritual of ascension. And it is the ascension that all souls are in the process of, the mastering of our freedom and victory in the light. So I want to go here to the resurrection chapter here and give you a little bit more information. And if it resonates again, and if you're not already working with the sacred flames, maybe time to start exploring a little bit. And as one of my services, I certainly can assist in the mentorship status, helping people to tap into the resurrection ray or the sacred flames in the study if you're not already familiar. And, again, I can't emphasize enough that there are so many different ways that this wisdom, these masters come to us, that it's not through just one text. And this isn't new. This isn't new information. Because of where we have expanded as humanity in our ascension process, we have so much more assistance now than ever before. I will say that this text is a little bit older, and by the way, it's published through the Mount Shasta Publishing. So you can go on online and look for the information, and there's several different really great publications that are related to these works. Some of the wording when you read this text may seem a little bit outdated because it's been around for a while, and you may look and go, wow, I'm already doing that, or oh, this is what's happening for me now, and oh, I've been reading about this violet flame, and I wasn't real sure what that is. And so again, this sacred text is awesome if it resonates in bringing so much enlightenment to of the spiritual hierarchies that exist throughout the galaxy. And for me, it answered a lot of questions to my previous study of religion, especially in my time when I was studying Catholic, that those beliefs wouldn't even have allowed me to explore into the new, to expand, to keep me little. And it was time, this lifetime, to expand and remember more of who I am and my truth. So I share this information, and if something resonates, or maybe you're already studying these teachings, and maybe through a different source, because truly it is all one. And our divine helpers are coming to us in the most miraculous ways and bringing us the teachings and however we receive them. Yes. And so I offer these to you because they resonate so much with me, and I've been called to teach these most sacred works. And so I am. The resurrection ray, the sixth ray, the flame of resurrection, is corresponding with the chakra of the solar plexus. And again, I say the color is purple and gold. So I've talked about this other weeks. For me, one of the ways I cultivate, like when I call in these sacred rays with intention and in a sacred way, and I call in the masters that are associated with the certain rays. And like I said, for this one, it's the beloved Sananda and Lady Nada. Also, Archangel Uriel and Aurora. And the Elohim of the sixth ray with divine complement is peace and aloha. Peace and aloha. So you see why I was guided to share this today. It's such an important time to find our inner peace. And again, there's so many ways and so many people teaching and guiding how to do that. You have to experiment. And some days, maybe meditation sitting in a certain meditative pose works good for you. And then you may have a day where you're like, the energy's not right, and sitting in this posture doesn't, just not feeling right today. So then we have the liberty to shift and try something else. Go for a walk, or go in the woods and just be still, sitting on a beautiful tree, sharing its wisdom with us. And the Earth Mother, just breathing in that energy. Or maybe it's about going into a spiritual center and sitting in the quiet, where you can just be still and just fully immerse yourself and all that is of good, all that is of creator. So again, how do we find our peace? We call in the energy, the frequency. We can breathe that in. Just set that intention. Intention is huge. I invoke frequency of peace. And again, same with joy. I spoke of joy last week and maybe a little bit the week before, because again, in the midst of all that we're moving through, it's so important to call in joy. And For those of you who've been watching, know I've been sharing my personal journey these last 4 weeks. There's some real opportunity for me and my family to master our in our own way, because each of us is different. All of these are mastery of how can we be in peace? How can we be in joy when things don't look so good and they don't feel so good sometimes? And we see loved ones suffering, and we see strangers suffering, and including the animals. Oh, we remember, I'm going to recenter and start here. Remember my truth. From here, I get to share with the world that divine love, hope, peace, joy. And the beauty of when we're not feeling that ourselves, and even maybe we do go into the woods, or maybe we sit in meditation and we get done and we're like, yeah, that's better, but boy, well, then we have each other to reach out to, you see. Be friends, soul brothers and sisters, mentors, guides, wayshowers. That's why we're here. The flame of resurrection. It's a perfect time as we are resurrecting the new and letting go of the old. I spoke of it being powerful retrograde time. I think there are like 5 planets in retrograde. And so, as typically in retrogrades, things, people, places come back to us, opportunities to look again, to reevaluate, so that healing may take place and that we can shine on. So in this time of retrograde, I would share to be mindful of what are you being asked to look again at? Is there forgiveness of self or others that is being called for? For when we forgot who we are and chose these opportunities for lessons, so that we could expand, so that we can be the change we wish to see. You see, I mentioned last week that we have so many divine helpers, and yet it is up to each of us to do our own work. No one can do it for us. That's a powerful statement, isn't it? Because many of us were taught that somebody else had the power to over us. But when we realize that it is that I am presence, that Christ consciousness, the heart-centered sacred love that we are truly all made of. And as we heal, we can share and co-create a better world. I was looking through here, just one more glance regarding the resurrection. I'm going to read the sacred prayer. It's an invocation to the resurrection flame. And so I would ask all of you that are with me to just sit, to close your eyes if that feels good and comfortable to you, and make sure your feet are gently on the ground. Take a nice couple breaths, deep and gentle. And I'm going to speak this on behalf of all who are in agreement to be here. If you would like to repeat silently or in your own space after me, then we will proclaim it together. So, invocation to the flame of resurrection. I am the resurrection and the life of my eternal freedom in the light. I am the resurrection and the life of my physical body's perfect blueprint. I am the resurrection and the life of my emotional body's perfect blueprint. I am the resurrection and the life of my mental body's perfect blueprint. I am the resurrection and the life my etheric body's perfect blueprint. I am the resurrection and the life of my spiritual body's perfect blueprint. I am the resurrection and the life of the Ascended Master's purity and love. I am the resurrection and the life of the healing powers of the sacred flames. I am the resurrection and the life of the healing powers of the sacred flames. That's a powerful statement, because when we speak that affirmation, it invokes all of the sacred flames, and we don't have to sort it out. And especially on days or moments when we really need uplifted, we speak that affirmation alone. We are inviting it in, and the Ascended Masters and all the divine complements and all the helpers. I am the resurrection and the life of my immortal perfection and the illumined love of the cosmic Christ. I am the resurrection and the life of the powers of the sacred fire within me, restoring all the wondrous gifts of my divine essence. And so it is. And I am going to continue this sacred space for a moment with some sacred flute. So if you again are still in your sacred, relaxed position, nice breaths, I will pray flute for you. I'm seeing the beautiful greens of Earth Mother enfolding all of us. And the peace be still. The peace be still. Earth Mother speaks. Just time to nurture ourselves deeply. To acknowledge how brave each one of us are. How courageous that we've all agreed to come and be here at this most auspicious time. And so, it is important to take time to just be, to just be. And as the new frequencies, the purification that has been taking place across Earth Mother, especially when we've been on this 2-3 month global retreat, spiritual global retreat, is that the air has become purified and the waters are being purified. And so too, within each of our life streams. So honor your body temple and relax and rest your mind. Those of us who've been called to great soul missions, the warriors of love and light, there is an ongoing drive to do more, to hold sacred space, to help others heal, to help Earth Mother. It is essential that we rest, that we give ourselves time to be restored. For surely we all have been through so much. And it is super, super intense at this time. It is a time of coming together. It is a time of the old ways, again, where the elders and those who are in the middle journey of their existence this lifetime, as well as the new ones coming in, the wee ones, to come together, to teach each other, to share with one another, to restore the unity consciousness, to release all that is not serving us. The balancing of the divine sacred feminine and the divine sacred masculine within each of us. And we do that. I spoke earlier about this sacred heart, our divine sacred union within each of us. Self-love, self-worth, nourishment. Take care of you. Because you are, each of us are, an intricate piece of the great web of life. The whole golden, I see now the golden lights that reach as a golden web all around beloved Earth Mother, all around. So important, so important. I am going to offer up a sacred prayer on behalf of all living beings, This is it's called a decree for Earth and her nations. And it too comes from the prayers to the 7 sacred flames. So with me, if you feel called to join, holding the sacred space, setting the intention. In the power and authority of my God presence, I am. I humbly come to the throne of grace to invoke into the physical plane on earth the most intensified dispensation and activity of God's will ever manifested in the history of time, across all time and space. We ask the legions of light serving this planet to absorb this divine essence into every fiber of their beings and project it into the heart flame and conscious mind of every man, woman, and child on this planet, especially every person associated with all governments of our planet in any way, shape, or form. Blaze the cosmic flame of God's will through each soul evolving here, and clear away all destructive activities that might be directed against any of God's children in the light for which we stand. Let the illumination flame reveal the divine purpose and plan for each office and individual, and give to each person the spiritual courage to fulfill that plan perfectly. Let the will of God be made manifest in, through, and around all governments of the world now and forever. Let the eternal victorious light of God illumine and lead the way for every soul evolving everywhere on the planet. We consciously accept this manifest now in full power, according to God's holy will and purposes. And so it is, so be it. Aho. Comes to mind is the works of the great peacemaker. And the people of this area, which I am currently in and which I was born and raised, the wampum belt, and how it was the ways of the indigenous ones that what we would call the founding fathers of our modern day America were being guided by the wisdom and the ancient teachings of the indigenous ones. Guided on how to live peacefully with the brothers and sisters of all nations. And it took time, even for within these, say the Iroquois Confederacy. There's a whole long story. I'll be teaching more as I remember my place at that time, at that ancient sacred time. For many of us have come back, new profiles, new human suits, to bring these teachings back in at this time of great peace and unity on Earth Mother. So the founding fathers sort of twisted the teachings, and now in our full I am presence, it is time for each of us to do our part, whatever we're called to do. And we all have different assignments, yes? To restore peace and the unity, the love here on Earth Mother. And so before I close out this sacred time from the perch today, I would like to offer to anyone who may be interested in scheduling an appointment for any of my services as spiritual guidance, wellness, mentorship, mind, body, spirit, soul. And I also offer my healing sessions. These are sessions that I can do from distance, or if you're in my local area, I'd be grateful and joyful to do a session for you. These are activations of high frequency and yet very gentle, loving frequency. These are frequency upgrades to assist you in your process at this time. And so when I use the word healing, what resonates with me is it's a matter of rebalancing anything that is within our life streams that it may be off balance. And so creates the disharmony, diseases, and emotionally, physically, mentally. So again, if you are interested in a session, energy session with me, activations and upgrades, just click on the button for more information on my Pam Silver Eagle LLC page, my Sacred Pathways. I also am offering nature journeys in the current area of the Lake Erie shores where I am located now. And please stay tuned in to my Facebook page as more opportunities are coming soon for me to be offering workshops, sacred circles in this area. And as we start to expand beyond the separation, so too other places. I have mentioned retreats are coming, sacred spaces and beyond. I look forward to being able to offer those amazing opportunities again for when we share in these sacred ways. We go out and explore out on Earth Mother to the beautiful fields and woods and mountains and valleys, waterways. It's how we nourish ourselves and how we expand on the conscious level. So again, if you would like, for the next 24 hours, if you send me to schedule, if you send me a little note on my Facebook Messenger, just title it, let's title it, I'm in. Just write, I'm in, and I'll offer it to you at a discount for the next 24 hours, my sessions. If you want more information, like I said, there are descriptions, but if you want more information, just send me a not text message, a Facebook message on Messenger, and I'll connect with you. And if you're really interested in setting something up, we can even chat by phone. So that's the best way to reach me. And I'm scanning for anything else. People have been asking if I do readings. I don't do readings for people per se. I don't do, here's what's coming in your future. What comes through me intuitively, of course, is obviously guidance, but I don't do, relationship readings. I don't do, career, those sort of personal channelings. But again, if you go on my Facebook page, you'll see a little bit more about my services. And if you still have questions, just reach out and ask. As it's an exciting time, and I am grateful and honored to be of service in the way that I am. And I look forward to meeting more of you. And I ask you to share my work if it resonates with your friends, your contacts. I look forward to being on the perch again with you next Tuesday. I will go back and see comments, as I can't right now. I have a frozen screen again, and I see me in frozen mode. I look forward to next Tuesday from the perch, and send you blessings for a peaceful week. Don't forget to nourish yourself. What brings you joy and what brings you peace? Do those things. Do those things. Remember to eat healthy, get those leafy greens in you, lots of sacred water. I try to talk about that every week. It's so important. Bless the water, give gratitude. Drink that in, and be well. Get out and play. Get out and play. And maybe I'll see you out and about. Blessings to all. Namaste.
Become a Goldylocks Productions VIP patron. Receive exclusive access to live stream special and other epic perks. Join the Goldylocks Productions VIP community today.